Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 13, Hippias Minor, 367d to 368a. Hippias, being the expert at calculating, had to agree that the calculator, who is the expert at calculating, the calculator was able both to tell the truth about calculating and tell lies about calculating. Otherwise, Hippias would have appeared not to be able at something, whether this be unable to tell the truth or to lie at calculating. Hippias had no real problem with this until Socrates pointed out that this contradicted Hippias's original position, the position that Hippias is supposed to be defending, that the true person is better than the false person. In other words, that there are two different people, one true, one false. Now Socrates has proven that they are one and the same person. And because Socrates points out that Hippias is refuted, basically, Hippias says that here it doesn't seem to him. In other words, it doesn't seem to him to be correct. Socrates picks up on the word here as if Hippias means here in calculation. It seems not to be correct. He's misinterpreting deliberately what Hippias is saying. It gives him an excuse to examine a few more fields in which Hippias is an expert. Boule un skepsometha kai althi, egesu boule. So do you want us to examine somewhere else as well? If you want. Uk un kai geometrias emperos egoge. Well, aren't you also experienced in geometry? I am. Ti un. Ukaien geometria hutos eche, ho autos donatotitos pseudestai kai alethe legen periton diagrammaton, ho geometrikos. Nai. Well then, isn't it thus also in geometry? The same person is most able to lie and to tell the truth about diagrams, the geometrician. Yes. It's interesting that, again, after Socrates has secured the agreement of Hippias that he is the most able to lie and to tell the truth in a field of expertise, Socrates then moves to the expert in the third person, the calculator and now the geometrician. Peri tauto un agathos alostis hutos, uk alos. Concerning these things then, in other words, the diagrams, another person is good or this person, the geometrician, not someone else. Good because a calculator is good at calculating and a geometrician is good at diagrams. Uk un ho agathos kai sophos geometres donatotitos ge amphotera. Kai per tis alos pseudes peri diagrammata hutos an ho agathos, hutos gar dunatos, hodekokos adunatos en pseudestai. Hoste uk an genoito pseudes ho me dunamenos pseudestai, hos homologetai. Esti tauta. As you can hear, Hippias is reluctant to answer, and Socrates has to keep pushing until eventually Hippias agrees. So the good and expert geometrician is the most able at both. And if someone is false about diagrams, this person would be him, the good man. For this man is able, but the bad man would be unable to lie, so that the one not able to lie would not be the false person, as has been agreed. That's so. It sounds like Socrates is just repeating the same argument he used in calculation, except now it's about geometry. But he's added something that wasn't there before. This is the bad man. The bad man is a new element here. The good man is the one who is able, whether it is to tell the truth or to lie. And now we have the bad man who is unable. And it's interesting what he is unable to do. He's unable to be false. He's unable to lie. The bad man is unable to lie. The good man is able to lie and tell the truth. All of this is because Hippias has a reputation for being good because he has ability. Because he is able, he appears to be good. So Socrates is playing on this idea. If ability is good, then inability is bad. And because Hippias hasn't considered the aim of this ability for good or for bad, for him ability is good in all ways. Now Socrates is showing the absurdity by pointing out that in that case the bad man is unable to lie and unable to tell the truth. When I say Socrates is pointing it out, what I mean is that Socrates would like Hippias to realize that something is wrong, which is why Socrates is pushing the matter of the ability for what? The ability for a good or a bad end. Etitoinun kai ton triton episkepsoamitha, ton astronomon, hes ausu technes etimalon epistemon oie enai, etonem prosten, egaro hippia? Nai. And yet again, let's examine also the third person, the astronomer, whose field you think you understand even more than the former ones. Isn't that right, Hippias? Yes. Why does Socrates refer to the astronomer as the third person, as if it follows from the calculator and the geometrician? The calculator deals with numbers, and numbers in themselves have no dimension. The geometrician deals with lines, which are one-dimensional, planes, which are two-dimensional, and then other three-dimensional structures, such as cubes or pyramids. Astronomy was regarded as applied geometry. It involved the three dimensions and time and movement, all of that together. Therefore, calculation, geometry, and astronomy was seen as three progressively complex fields. This is why, after the calculator and the geometrician, Socrates refers to the astronomer as the third man. It's obvious. He's the next one in the sequence. In all three fields, Hippias is the most able, and therefore is the man able to lie as well as to tell the truth in each of these three fields. And interestingly, each time Socrates, having acquired Hippias's consent, that the most able in each field is able to tell the truth and lie, he then shifts focus to the expert in the third person. That is, he goes on to talk about the calculator, the geometrician, and now the astronomer. Uk un kai en astronomia tauta estin, eikos geos Socrates. In astronomy too, aren't these the same things? It's reasonable, Socrates. Kai en astronomia ara epertis kai aulos pseudes, ho agathos astronomos pseudes estai, ho dunatos pseudes tai, ugar hoge adunatos amathescar, fainatai hutos. So also in astronomy, if anyone else is false, the good astronomer will be false, the one able to lie. For the one unable to lie won't be, for he is ignorant. So it seems, ho autos ara kai en astronomia aletheste kai pseudes estai, oiken. So the same man, also in astronomy, will be both true and false. So it seems. Notice that Hippias has agreed to everything that Socrates has said about the geometrician and about the astronomer. He's had no problem so far. He hasn't had to disagree with Socrates. This despite the conclusion each time that it is the same man who is false and true in each field. So what's different about these two examples as opposed to the calculator? The big difference is that Socrates hasn't pointed out that this contradicts the position that Hippias is supposed to be defending. Hippias is supposed to defend the position that the true man is better than the false man, which requires the two men to be different. Here they find that it's one man who is both true and false. But so long as Socrates doesn't point out the contradiction, Hippias goes along with it, because in fact at these points Socrates is promoting Hippias. Hippias is the most able at these fields. Whether it's able to lie or able to tell the truth, it doesn't matter. And Hippias is fairly happy. His answers aren't all that enthusiastic now, because he is aware that Socrates is leading to something. But so far as it goes, this is good for Hippias. So far, Socrates has indicated three fields in which Hippias is most able. Is he going to cover every possible field that there is, one by one? We can only hope he'll find another way.